Well, folks, here is the condo we are renting in jolly old London. That's right. And we've got a nice view of the city outside. There's the MI5 building, which is kind of like their CIA. And if you look in the back, you can see Parliament. And those bridge statues. Oh, and you can't get this here in the US. It's a little something called Weetabix. It functions kind of like one of those giant shredded wheat biscuits, but becomes kind of a cold oatmeal. Oh, and here's a funny little twist. Cheerios have the Nestle logo here instead of the General Mills logo. Also, they're just called Honey Cheerios. After getting settled in, we went to the White Swan where we had a lovely pint of Guinness. Breakfast the next morning was scrambled eggs, an English sausage, and a lovely little delicacy they call a crumpet. You gotta know what that is to understand cricket. If you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or in the UK, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles fan, you will get that reference. After breakfast, we went for a little walk on the town, and there is the MI5 building up close. I forgot what this building was, and there is the American Ambassador's house. And right here we have some close-up shots of Parliament. This is the legislative body that is basically England's government, the center of it, made up of the House of Lords and the House of Commons. Really awesome to see such an iconic structure up close. And here we have a statue of King George V, the great-grandfather of the current King Charles III. Next is our trip to Westminster Abbey. Now, I was not able to film inside of here because they don't allow it, but they did allow photos, which is what I will have to rely on for this segment. Look at that beautiful architecture of the medieval period. Now, Westminster Abbey today is obviously an Anglican church, which is part of the Church of England. But in the medieval times, this was a Catholic church. England was officially a Catholic nation up until 1534, when King Henry VIII founded the Church of England. If you look at the carvings on the wall, you can see remnants of its Catholic days, most notably this statue of Mary here. And then there's this statue of Christ Jesus on his throne with all of the saints under him. And then we went inside. I am usually like a kid in a candy store in all of these old medieval buildings. I'll just let some of the architecture speak for itself here. Next, we have the Tomb of the Unknown Warrior, a very respected soldier who is the one grave that is never walked upon. And this area is the nave. Then we have Sir Isaac Newton, a famous scientist who is not buried here, but this is just a memorial. He discovered that gravity was a universal force. Here's the tomb of King Henry V, who won the 100 Years' War against France, also known as Henry of Monmouth. No, he is not related to Geoffrey of Monmouth, who wrote the early forms of the King Arthur stories. Then we have King Henry III, son of King John I. Yes, he's the son of the bad guy from the Robin Hood stories. Next is the tomb of Queen Elizabeth I. A very influential monarch, daughter of King Henry VIII and the final monarch of the Tudor dynasty. Here's the tomb of King Edward V and his younger brother Richard, Duke of York. Both died at age 11 and 9. Alleged to have been killed in the Tower of London on the orders of their uncle, King Richard III, so he could gain the throne. But don't worry, Richard III eventually got his comeuppance at the hands of this guy, King Henry VII, founder of the Tudor dynasty, by defeating Richard III at the Battle of Bosworth Field in 1485 AD. These are the choir seats of the church. Just look at that beautiful scaffolding. And here's the tomb of Oliver Cromwell, who overthrew King Charles I in the English Civil War, which led to a temporary abolishment of the monarchy. And here's the resting place of Lord Byron, writer of the fragmented novel, which inspired Polidori to write The Vampire. He was also present when Mary Shelley first told the story of Frankenstein. Oh hey, that looks like Tim Curry. Here's the tomb of Charles Dickens, who wrote A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, Cricket on the Hearth, and A Tale of Two Cities. And here lies Rudyard Kipling, who wrote The Jungle Book. George Frederick Handel, famous composer. Here's a lovely shot of the field outside, and more of the church from the outside. And here is the coronation chair. Many monarchs have sat in this chair, including the recently crowned King Charles III. Well, that is part 1 of our London trip. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you then.